Hey there! Today's video is going to be a confetti cake with confetti donuts. It's a New Year's cake. You can make this to celebrate New Year's with since it has a ton of sprinkles. It's going to be this massive thing right here. It's got donuts in the front, on top, and it's got a bunch of sprinkles and confetti all over the place. All the recipe and links and everything you're going to need will be down below in the description box. If you're new around here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get started on this cake. Start by preparing your cake pans. I like to do this by buttering the pan, adding some parchment paper, and then buttering that top parchment paper again. And then set these aside and prepare your cake batter. I will leave my recipe down below as well as my link, and then you just have to add sprinkles to it. And then I scooped it into the pan, evened it out, and put that aside. And I'm going to do this 3 times, and I only needed 1 amount of my batter. Bake this at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. While those are baking, make your donut batter and then add your sprinkles. I made this last year, so you can get my recipe as well. I will leave everything down below, recipes and links. I like to butter the pan that I'm going to use for the donuts. You can use a spray or anything you like. To make the piping easier, I put the dough into a plastic bag, into a piping bag, and just pipe these into each cavity. Those are going to bake at 425 degrees for 6 to 8 minutes. While those are baking, prepare your glaze. I just used about a cup of powdered sugar and then added some heavy cream to that until I wanted the consistency that was right for these. It was just a little runny. You can always change it by adding more powdered sugar or adding more heavy cream. And then you're just going to add some sprinkles to the top of these donuts. Put them aside and let's assemble our cake. I started with 1 layer and did a sprinkle buttercream frosting for the center. I will leave the link down below to make this as well as the recipe. I just put a thin layer in between each one. So I did cake, sprinkle buttercream, cake, and another sprinkle buttercream, and then the top layer, and then did a crumb coat. The top layer I did upside down so that the top layer would be flat. And then for this part, just do a crumb coat. It doesn't have to look too pretty because I am going to cover my cake with sprinkles, and if you want to do the same, don't worry about how your buttercream looks. And then I just smoothed the edges, and then with some help from Chris, I had him hold the cake, and with one of my hands, I scooped some sprinkles and just cupped it onto the side. They should stick pretty easily since the buttercream is still pretty fresh. So just do this all around the cake until it's completely covered in sprinkles. Now what I did for the mini donuts is cut a toothpick in half, put 2 per side of the donut, and then stuck that into the cake. The top one I left without toothpicks. Just remember that you have those in there, so when you serve them, you let your guests know. And here's how the cake looks, all covered in donuts. And then the inside of the cake, cutting a slice. I did it slightly diagonal so you can see the inside. And that's how you make this confetti cake and donuts and pile of sprinkles. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you want to suggest something else, leave it in the comments down below. Happy New Year, and don't forget to stay sweet.